So as of yesterday, I just started this YouTube channel, and I gotta say that I'm pretty darn excited. Um, I've done some pretty neat projects in the past. The 12,800 square foot, three-story monolithic dome, not a geodesic dome, but a monolithic dome. That's in Sedona. Crazy complex. So much technology involved in that. As a young man, I learned a lot from that project. What's really exciting about this is just the new technologies that are at my disposal now. And I've already shown one video that's posted using this 3D scanning technology that is much like LiDAR. And so, real quick, I just thought I'd give a catch-up because I hadn't thought about posting this project until now. And so I'm just I've done so much already that we're trying to get this into AutoCAD and into Chief Architect. These are two pieces of software that I am using pretty heavily. I love both for their own unique, just the way I can make the two of them work together. And if you've seen anything like my little tiny garage project, that I simply was documenting how I did some of that stuff to train someone. So that shows there's some 3D stuff in there. There's some framing. I can do materials lists. There's a lot of stuff that Chief does, and then Chief has its shortcomings. And it seems like with AutoCAD, I can fill in a lot of those blanks, and combining the two, I'm coming up with a product that I'm really, really happy with. So there are still some challenges. There's a lot of learning of joining these two softwares together. I do know them as individuals, but combining them is a new game. So you're along for the ride if you'd like. And this is the model of the building. And in Chief, you can click on this little camera up here, and then I can go to a perspective full overview. And you can see what we got so far. And it's pretty basic, but if you've seen the thumbnail picture of the scan of the building, I still got to work on this door. A lot of this other stuff is pretty right on. I got to fill in some brick up here. There is a cave-in, or not a cave-in, but a place where they for some reason recessed an area, and I've been able to do that pretty well in Chief, to my surprise. Able to recess the windows into a full brick wall. That was something I didn't have any information on how to do. I just kind of had to come up with my own method. We've got these very unique and beautiful corbels coming into play on this project, and just really happy with how these two pieces of software are intermingling with each other. So let's turn that off and go back to looking at the AutoCAD version. And what I've got are, from that 3D scan, I've got slices through the building. And they give me a lot of information, and so I can find out wall thicknesses. You can see some of the stuff that's in there because there's some things that the owners have got in place. And then I can get some roof angle. Some stuff we're going to have to kind of estimate, but it won't affect this project because we're not going to mess with the outside. Maybe a little bit on the back side where we're looking at possibly doing some outdoor dining and such, but the roof itself, the fact that over the last 100+ years, I need to look up when this building was built, but in the last 100+ years, there's been a little sagging, and when I draw a straight line along it, you can see it. So it's not anything that threatens the structure of the building whatsoever. In fact, the structure of this building is in beautiful shape. So, but there's other sections that I can see through, again, trying to get where everything's placed. And then how I do things is I align them in two directions so that I can get my elevations, figure out all my windows, where they're at. This is the door in CAD, which I feel is now, except for the door itself, is complete. And I've got all my openings coming together. My floor levels are starting to hit. That's the west end of the building, starting to even get into brick detail where there is some brick pop out. And so we'll get those as in chief. They are what's called a polyline solid. And so in those polyline solids, we're going to have to, they'll be just planted on the surface and go along here. But since this won't be needing a materials list for those elements, because obviously the building's already built, then it's not going to affect some of the potential stuff that I can get out of this particular software. So mixing of the two has been an amazing process, and I'm just going to start working on this again today. And I just kind of wanted to catch you up on, these are some slices that I've got through here. Let's go and open. Oops, sorry. I didn't switch screens for you, so I'm talking about something you can't see. So these are just different slices and stuff that we had through here. And what I asked of Ryan, who did this 3D scan for me, is I asked him for some very particular slices. And instead of that, we've kind of found some different workarounds that, so you can see slices. There's slice trace, the practice one, learning how we were going to work and mesh three technologies together because we're using his LiDAR technology as well. There's images in here. Oh, they're not this type of image, so they're not going to show up here. And then as I back out, let's see, I'm trying to find, Madrazo, I'm looking for the floor plan. Here we go. So, in this floor plan, it's just turned off. So in here, if I go to my layers and I come down, there should be, Gen Text and Gen Dims. And so when I turn those on, I have got my construction lines through here to show the points that I asked for as exact places that were important to me. Where these walls are located, one that cuts through this chimney, just some important things that were in the building for me to be able to figure out how to do it right. And instead of doing that, I've got so many slices through this building that I can kind of pick and choose as to what's important and what I need. So we sliced in both directions, and looking forward to moving on. So that's just kind of an introduction as to where we sit with the project itself and how I'm putting this together. And I guess I'm going to just keep on recording these as I go along, make little short videos of the progress of this, and maybe I'll just start numbering them so that they are actually sequential and people can follow along if they'd like to. So just wanted to give an introduction to this absolutely spectacular project. Been working with this 2D stuff for years and years. Did all my stuff in AutoCAD, except for I always used the chief architect to do concepts to show people, what their homes were going to look like. And now we're taking this into some commercial realm, which I've dabbled in, but haven't taken chief really into the commercial realm yet. It's really set up for residential, but who knows? Maybe this project will be inspiration enough for them to step it up a notch. So we'll see. Anyway, that's enough for this little short introduction, and follow along.